are now tuned in to the Lineman Lounge, the world's thickest sports podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Evo.
¿Cómo están, bitches? This is the Lineman Lounge. I am Mike. That is Evo. We are back. It is Sunday. I am tired, but I am pumped to fucking be here. We got some stuff to go over. One topic in particular, I'm going to get pretty riled up, but that's not how we're going to start today. We're going to start. That sounds like a great idea. Let's crack a beer because I just got done pushing. Oh,
it's a cool liquid death. I'm trying to murder my thirst.
Hell yeah. Not a sponsor. Could be. Would love a fucking liquid death sponsor.
I got a little mini fridge in here now that I just load up with the liquid death and other adult beverages and whatnot. It is completely empty right now, though, because I am drinking the last of my liquid death out of it. So liquid death, please sponsor us. Hook me up with some of your drinks because the stores here in my town don't stay stocked. I go to the grocery store and they maybe have 3 cases every once in a while and I buy them all. And then they're out for like a couple weeks. Pissing me off.
God damn. Yeah, I cracked a beer. It's been a fucking long day, long week, but I am pumped to be here, man. Weekend is over. I have not got a chance to relax hardly at all, but as soon as we are done here, I'm headed upstairs. Little cuddle time with our producer, and we'll probably watch a movie. But
very nice.
I'm very excited for that. Yeah. Man, how's your weekend going? What you been up to? Because we're gonna start diving into some youth sports here in just a minute. And yeah, if you guys can't tell, I'm still dealing with like sinus issues and shit, so I might sound a little nasally. But this is the voice you get this week. All right, we're gonna work through it.
Well, my weekend so far has been pretty laid back. Yesterday, the lady was at work, and I continue to work on setting up the stuff for streaming some video games here on my new PC. Last time that I ran on my old PC, it just bogged it down too much. Even though it was a good, and it still is a good gaming PC, right? I just couldn't keep up with the modern demands. So your boy installed a diving board, a little tiny diving board on his pocket because his pockets stay deep and just want to dive in there, and bought himself this gaming rig of sorts, or all the components for it, built it out, had a couple technical difficulties. Basically, the thing was pulling too much power for the room off of one wall outlet. So got it all figured out, got it working, spent the day yesterday finalizing the stuff to set up my stream, and went ahead and did a test stream. Played a little bit of video games on YouTube Gaming, at Norsky Gaming. And then right after that, I ended up jumping on with our boy. $20 is $20, playing some Warzone with him as well, which, boy, we've played before and we weren't that great. But having not played for months and months and months, because he's been out of the country and I like playing online with him on that game in particular. That was rough getting back into it.
Just get your dicks kicked in the entire time.
Well, I mean, so we were playing, for those of you who know, Rebirth. So you constantly kind of come back for a majority of the game as long as you still have a party member alive. Yeah, we were getting our dicks kicked in. I don't think we ever got lower than 10th place.
I mean, that's not bad.
Well, I think there's only like 30 teams. So
it's not great.
Well, it sounds great when you say like, oh, we never got worse than 10th. But not as good as it could be. But either way, a lot of fun. All my controls were messed up because, new computer. So I had to figure all those out. And now that I got the control layout kind of figured out again, I'm starting to get back in the mix. So today I'll probably be playing a little bit again, just to get refreshed and whatnot. I don't know if I'll actually be streaming anything or not. But that has been my weekend so far, kind of chilling, relaxing. The lady picked up another shift. She's going to be working today, this evening. So I've got to find some way to fill up my time. Might as well get on and play a little bit of games and start working on this new craft.
Very nice. Very nice. I might hop on with you a little bit later. We'll see. Because I want to check out the stream. I have not really had an opportunity to see the stream too much. I've seen like the inlays, like the graphics that come in, but I have not actually got to see you play too much. So I'm going to try to hop on there, at least come and watch. I don't know if I'm going to play. We'll see what producer Amber
I
says
mean,
about
stuff like this.
Yeah, see, that looks fucking sweet, man.
Yeah, so you can all see what my setup looks like in here. I'm on my screen and everything, but let's go back to
the normal.
There
you go, dude. Yeah, I like it. It looks cool, man. I'm very excited for you and to see the way that thing grows and the way that you go with it. So I'm pumped for you. I cannot wait. Norski Gaming getting shit done. You and $20.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm enjoying it so far. I mean, it is still the technical difficulty phase of figuring things out,
right,
and then a lot of promotion after that. So I don't expect to blow up and become the next Tim the Tap Man or Dr. Disrespect overnight. Or at all, to be completely honest. You know, right. That's a lofty ass goal. But I will say this. For those of you who are interested in gaming, esports, and stuff like that, Mike and I in the Lineman Lounge are working on some stuff to try to build the brand a little bit that you guys will find out about later. But esports and gaming and things like that are going to be a little bit more involved in the channel and whatnot. So we're going to have some talks about different things like YouTube, Twitch, or this new platform Kick, which is coming out, which I've actually kind of talked down on Kick a little bit. It is basically just the Twitch's algorithm. But they have some pretty lofty goals, and we'll see if they can do it. They've already paid a couple streamers, big time streamers, $100 million contracts.
Ooh.
However, they want to basically kind of do what Joe Rogan did with his new comedy mothership out there in Austin, Texas, where they provide a good working livable wage to streamers of like 16 to 18 bucks per hour, just if you stream on their platform. Obviously, you'll be running ads and stuff like that, but if they're able to pay an hourly rate, that's going to get a lot of people.
That's a fucking job, dude. That is I can't wait to get my shit set up so I can get a full-time job just playing video games.
Yeah, so if they actually end up moving into that space, I might be simulcasting between YouTube and Kick. We'll see. The brand is growing, everybody. The brand is growing. With there more announcements to come, but we're not there yet. We're not ready yet, but there are going to be some cool things happening for the brand, for the show, and at us as a group. So with that, let's start diving into some sports. Let's start talking youth sports. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, we're going to go back to esports real quick. One quick shout out to the Cleveland State University esports team. They won a national championship a couple weeks ago, the NECC National Championship for Rocket League. So shout out to the boys over on the esports team over at Cleveland State. I'm going to get to know those guys pretty well. They're going to be doing some internship with us, doing Browns games this year, selling some raffle tickets. So I'm going to get to know those guys pretty well. Might talk to some of those guys about maybe making an appearance on the show here or there. No ladies on the team?
I'm not sure, honestly. I have not got to meet everybody on the team, so I do not know. I hope that there's a couple of ladies on the squad.
There usually is these days.
Yeah, I was going to say that girl gamers are not an anomaly anymore. They're very, very common now. So hopefully I get to meet everybody and get to see how they're doing their operations. Maybe they'll teach me a couple things. I stink out loud at Rocket League. I'm really good at geometry and shit, but I cannot drive that fucking car into that ball to save my life.
It's geometry on the fly.
Yeah.
Off the paper in real time.
No, so I understand where I want to hit the ball, but I can't get my car to be in position to do what I want it to do. Because I don't
after the stream, go out and practice in your real car.
Oh, that's it. That's good. And put Graydon in one of those big blow-up balls, and
that'll toughen them up. Football's right around the corner, baby.
It sure is. Football is getting ready to start. But let's hop over into the youth sports. We had a baseball game today. Our boys did come out victorious. Close game at the end, though. Started out a little rough. Our starting pitcher had some issues getting the ball over the plate, but this is his first year playing. He's going to have mistakes. He's going to have errors. That is going to happen. Graydon was able to come in. He gets us out of the jam, only give up 3 runs in the first inning. When there were bases loaded, when Graydon came in, we fight back, score 7 runs in the next inning. And then we don't fucking score again until the 7th inning. And we only play 6-inning games. So they fought their way back. They had a big bottom of the 6th. They ended up scoring the 5 runs that they needed to tie, or the 4 runs they needed to tie us. Go in the extras, but we were able to win it in the top after the 7th. Only needed 1 extra inning. And the boys are buzzing right now. They're playing very, very well. This was easily our best defensive game of the year. We pitched well. We made plays behind our pitcher. Like, sometimes you won't need to play stellar defense if your pitcher's lights out and he's striking everybody out. But on days where your pitcher's out there and he's inducing ground balls, like, we got to find a way to make plays. And we did that today in spades. Big time dub. We are sitting at 8-3 on the season, firmly entrenched in second place. And that's probably where we will stay headed into the playoffs. But boys, nice. They did a great job, man. I was so super pumped with the way they played because I wanted to go home. I was fucking tired. It was hotter than shit. So good on the boys for sticking with it.
Don't talk to me about heat yet. I know you got the humidity and whatnot out there. But right now, the days are miserable out here in Arizona. They're getting to that. We're in a little bit of a uptick in the heat. We're getting our first 100-degree days here through this weekend. I believe this weekend was supposed to be up to 105.
Oh, no. Those are Tucson temperatures. Keep that shit out of Sierra Vista.
Yeah.
That's too hot. That's too hot, man. I bet you guys will probably not be doing a lot of flying.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. But so U Sports, man, that's what our boy, the guys that we're sponsoring, the team that I'm coaching, that's what they're doing. They're great right now. I'm excited to get into the playoffs and see what kind of damage we can do with these guys. You got any U Sports going on out there?
I'm sure there is, but I'm not involved with any of it currently.
Not anything going on currently. Okay. You planning on doing some more coaching at some point, hopefully?
Yeah, that's definitely the plan here. Hopefully by next year, I'll be doing some coaching with whatever sports that the ladies, boys want to be doing. So I want to be involved with that for sure.
Absolutely, man. I love coaching. It's one of my few passions that I still get to live out and do. Like, I can't play anymore. My body's too fucking broken. I'm too fat. Like, I'm not going to be able to play anymore, but I love the game. And coaching you get to be a little closer to the game than just being a fan. I still feel like I am part of the game, which is a nice thing for anybody who, has that love, that passion. And hopefully you bring a little bit of knowledge when you're out there coaching. That way you're not teaching kids the wrong thing. But any coach that volunteers their time is fantastic. I enjoy it.
Absolutely. All right. So it's going to be a light show today. We don't have a ton to go over because guess what? There's just not much happening.
There's nothing to fucking talk about.
NBA is over. I mean, we did just have the draft, but it's nothing crazy. Baseball is still going on, which we do have some storylines there. What's up, dog? $20 is $20. Pop
20.
it in, hello. NFL, again, not a whole lot happening.
Not a lot.
Why don't we go ahead and get into what today's bread and butter is really going to be?
Yeah.
Professional baseball.
Yeah. And you know what? Professional baseball has been insane over the last week. A lot of things have happened. Not much has happened in the AL Central, where both of our teams reside. You guys still stink, and we stink worse. We are only 1 game back, and we are 2 games under 500. That tells you everything you need to know about the AL Central. But our boy, $20 sends in this comment. What about those Angels? Did you see this? Because I've seen teams score 20-plus runs in a game. It typically doesn't happen by inning fucking 4.
Yeah, 13 runs in the third, or I believe, after only 2 runs in the second. They put up quite a few runs. Was last night, right?
Last night. And listen, when you go into the ballpark up there in Denver and you make solid contact, that ball's got a chance to get out of the yard. There's a reason that people who spend their entire careers in Denver have a hard time making the Hall of Fame because people think that their numbers are inflated. It is a hitter's ballpark. The elevation helps. And god damn did the Angels use it last night. 25-1, I believe, was the final score. Yeah, 25-1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. Like, but here's the thing, and I don't think a lot of people understand. Like, okay, guys, we get it. You're beating them. Like, let's hurry up and move on. You don't fucking do that in baseball. You don't give away at bats. You don't give away pitches. You don't. No. You take every single one of those like it's your goddamn last. Baseball is fucking hard enough without giving away outs because you want to get out of the game, get out of the inning. That's not something that we will typically see in baseball. So, what's up? Is that the lady?
Got a drink coming in. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
She doesn't want to come on camera. She just wants to come elsewhere.
Oh, spicy.
Oh. All right. Sorry about that interruption.
No, you're good, brother. So for me, when I see that, I was like, okay, cool. They got their fucking dicks kicked in. But I don't ever think of, oh, you're running up the score. You never give away swings in baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. Being 25-1, you would think that maybe at some point in time the Angels would put in guys who are not traditional. Like, I wouldn't say an untraditional pitcher or something like that, but you can save a guy's arm or something like that by not playing them, things like that, unless they're being extremely efficient. It might be more so the case for the opposing team to start being like, hey, we are not coming back from this sort of a deficit, so we need to start putting in our guys so we don't wear them out. It's surprising that they only were able to score 1 run in total, honestly, against them. I figured they'd get a couple more, but that is the whole, you don't quit playing just because the score is outmatched. Like, you don't do shitty things like
right. You're not stealing second base when you're up fucking 25-1. That's not something that you're going to do because then you are rubbing it in and then you're being a cockbag about it. So we're not going to do that. But if he's going to throw you a pitch right down the fucking middle, you're going to goddamn swing at it. And if you leave a pitch over the middle of the plate in Denver, that pitch is going in the seats. That's just the way it works out there.
Yeah. And realistically with these guys, if they're able to boost their stats at all, that results in more money for them, either through their current contract with incentives or future contracts. That when they're looking at future contracts, they're not going to be like, well, we're going to throw all the stats out from this one game because it was an outlier. No, they're going to look at the entirety of their career and their season and getting a new contract. So these guys, if they're able to go out there and boost their stats up a little bit, yeah, they're going to go for it.
Yeah, swing the fucking bats, boys. This is why last year, maybe even 2 years ago now, this is one of the original episodes. It was just me behind a microphone bitching about Tony La Russa because he fucking yanked out one of his players, like ripped his ass, yanked him out of the game, and then eventually got sent down to AAA because he swung at a 3-0 pitch from a non-pitcher. Well, yeah, motherfucker. I got the bases loaded, and I just got up to the bigs. I want to make sure I stick around. You're going to swing at that fucking pitch, and you're going to hit it over the fence. And it screwed him. I don't understand why we would do that to guys. I hate that.
Yeah. But that's not our biggest story in baseball.
No, we're going to talk about somebody else who fucking pisses me off now.
Now? Or has always?
Well, no. Now we're going to talk about somebody else who has always pissed me off. There we go. Phrase it that way. Yeah. So if it's not Tony La Russa's gone, I don't got to worry about him anymore. But fucking Rob Manfred is going to become the bane of my existence as a baseball fan. He is the most tone-deaf fucking commissioner in all of professional sports. He does not get it at all. Anything about what the fuck his job is. Because he works for the owners. Which he's supposed to be a representation of what the owner's will is, right? And now you screw up so bad with the Astros thing, and you don't suspend people as you should because you grant them immunity. Like that's the most asinine thing. Why would the owners allow that to happen? But that's what Rob Manfred decided. And then we turn around this week and fucking say, you know what? granting all those players immunity was probably not my best decision. Yeah, no shit, it wasn't your best decision. Everybody fucking knew it was a bad decision when you made it to start with, and you didn't fucking listen to anybody. I do not understand how you would have granted immunity, and then how you could be so fucking stupid to get in front of a microphone and say the biggest decision that I have made in my entire time as the commissioner was a complete fuck up. He is so stupid.
Yeah,
I don't know how else to say it.
I mean, baseball has had some down years and whatnot. It's been hurting. And during the time when all these issues were going on, it wasn't the best time for baseball. And so I believe that the whole immunity, things like that, it was more of a measure of let's get this done, over with, wrapped up, sweep it under the rug so we can try to move on and save face a little bit as baseball overall, which the baseball fans didn't like, obviously.
No.
But he was trying to make some sort of a business decision, a bad one, to just get this over with, move on, so we don't have to talk about it anymore. And that's the point. If you want to do that, don't talk about it anymore. If anyone asks you a question, say, I'm not here to talk about the past. I'm here to talk about the future, or something like that. Make up some bullshit political response. Don't come out and say, oopsie whoopsie, I fucked up and stepped on my crank. Because that's what you just did. And now you look like a fool. You've lost your credibility. Now you are opening up the old wounds for people. Dumb move. Terrible, terrible statement.
Yeah, I don't understand why, like, what is the point of admitting now that you have made an egregious mistake? You think you're going to be forgiven? Baseball fans are now just going, me being one of them in particular, I'm going to try to drive the stake through his heart, because you cannot be that fucking dumb to make that statement after you already screwed it up so bad. You can, like, you're the commissioner of the league. You have called the commissioner's trophy just a piece of metal, first of all. So you've disrespected the trophy that you hand out to the winner. You have made an egregious mistake by allowing total immunity to everybody involved, player-wise, with the cheating scandal. And then you are just don't have the common knowledge to not say, you know what, my bad, I guess I screwed up. Rob, you blew it from jump. But if you're gonna, like, you can't come out and say that as the commissioner. If Roger Goodell makes a mistake, Roger Goodell doesn't talk about that fucking mistake. You know, Roger won't even answer a question. I would guarantee it. You know who would come and go to bat for him? The owners. Owners would speak for Roger if he made a mistake, and that's how that would all go about, right?
Yeah.
Because they're tied together. I don't believe that the will of the owners was completed with this decision, and now he is making the owners all look like morons because he is their employee. He is their number one employee. He's got to be out.
This sort of a statement is something that if he actually does feel like he made a mistake and everything, which he should, this isn't the right time to speak about it. You know that all these commissioners and all these high-profile sports executives are going to write their memoirs after they've retired to, you know, go over their time in baseball, make a little bit of extra money, things like that. Okay, in your tell-all, have extreme ownership. Own your issues. I'm not saying not to do that, but do it after the fact. Do it after your career is over, because right now it is going to influence the rest of your career by making that statement. You've already fucked up once by sweeping this all under the rug. You're just fucking up again by bringing it up and saying, yeah, I'm bad at my job. Like, I'm the commissioner of baseball. I'm bad at my job. Do it afterwards. Say, I really messed up on that one. After your career is over, put it in your little memoirs, write your book, get your extra money, and then say, yeah, I messed up. And hopefully then you can be forgiven in the future. But to do it basically in the moment still, while you're still commissioner, really dumb move.
It's insane to me. And then some of these other quotes that come out, because he says, the exact quote was, not my best decision, right? Well, some of the other things that he says in here are also baffling to find out, right? Because I think that people maybe had thought this, but it was never truly determined. Quote is, I might have gone about the investigative process without the grant of immunity and see where it takes us. Starting with, and I'm not going to punish anybody, maybe not my best decision ever, right? So that's the entire quote. But what that tells us is that when all of this happened, they never even began the investigation into what was happening without granting immunity. He never even attempted to find out what the fuck actually happened. He just said, tell us what happened. We promise you won't get in trouble. Like, you're not, I get it. Like, I have children. Like, this is a fucking children father situation. Listen, tell me what the hell happened right now. That's it. That's how the way this works. I tell you to tell me, you fucking tell me. And then eventually I have to maybe work up to, listen, man, I just need you to tell me what happened. You're not in trouble, but I need you to tell me what happened. Like, that is a natural progression, the way a child who is in trouble goes with a parent. And these are the players and the commissioner. Why was it any fucking... How could you not even begin the investigative process without offering immunity? What? That's insane to me, man. I can't do it with Rob Manfred.
Yeah.
How is this guy still the fucking commissioner of this league?
I don't know, man. I feel like anymore these days it's tough for leagues to get rid of their commissioners, but then again, it just probably points to the fact that, again, the owners of the teams are the ones who hire. It is a representation of the owners, and the owners are probably just as shitty, and they know, okay, I can push off a whole bunch of the bad spotlight of shittiness that would be on me normally onto this cuck, essentially.
Yeah.
And because, look, say what you will about Goodell, I fucking hate him, but all he is a reflection of what the owners are wanting. When you see all these weird fines and penalties against players and things like that, where it seems like it is an unfair process in many ways that they determine when players should be fined and things like that, the owners aren't coming out for their player that's getting fined and saying, commissioner, this is bad. They're staying quiet because they don't care. It's not their money. If anything, they're just getting more money out of it because that money goes to the league and gets put towards something else. And that's something that the owner is going to have to pay for out of pocket. They don't care how it works. It's just not their money. So they don't care. The commissioners of these leagues are just representations of the owners. And that's why you aren't going to see these commissioners going away, because they are just the focal point of what the owners are doing. And the owners are just as bad, if not worse, than that commissioner for the most part. It's going to take like a rape scandal or something like that in order to get one of these commissioners out. If Dan Snyder was the commissioner right now, he probably would be out. But who knows?
Yeah. It's just, it's wild. You do bring up a good point, though, man. Like, it's Rob Manfred is exacting the will of the owners, or he's supposed to be. I don't know if he is, though. And I say that because it's like, when you listen to this man speak, if you read his quotes, you're like, I don't know if this guy has ever spoken in front of more than 10 people in his life before he became the commissioner of the fucking Major League Baseball. Like, he can't speak. I don't understand. He frustrates the absolute hell out of me. But I don't know if I can talk about Rob Manfred for too much longer. So you got anything else on this story, this absolutely asinine story about the worst commissioner in all of professional sports?
No, not really. It's basically just that, I mean, again, he's probably the representation of the owners. I still think that he is doing a poor job of that right now and stepping on his crank. And for that, the owners are probably like, hey,
Rob, maybe shut the fuck up.
Take all the shit that we should be getting, but also don't Don't create shit. That's just dumb.
Yeah. Hey, Rob, we'd like to have a conversation. We'd like to all 30 of us would like to ask you very kindly to just shut the fuck up.
They need to give him the Joe Biden treatment.
Just
hide him away in a fucking closet. We know he's there. We know he's the commissioner. You might see blurbs come out from a press secretary.
Yep, some press releases.
But you don't talk in public.
Yeah, Rob.
And if you do, you read off a script really bad.
Read the fucking script.
End remarks. Repeat.
Yeah. Oh man, that was good. I needed a nice little laugh there at the end of that.
Yeah. All right, buddy. So anything else with baseball that you really want to get into?
Not really, man. There's storylines all over the place, but none of them are none of these are big storylines right now, in my opinion. This is normal dog days of summer baseball. I'm ready for one of our teams to actually start fucking winning, though. Like, I'm tired of being so close but being so bad. Like, either just fucking start winning, Twins, or we need to turn it on. Jesus Christ.
I feel like it's once a week that I see a post from somewhere in the what is it, the AL East. An AL East team will be like, the Red Sox are in last place with a record of 40-38, and the Twins are in the lead as Central, and they have a losing record.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it. We're bad. You're like, I understand the Central is really bad right now. Like, I don't know how in the power rankings the Twins are still in like top 15. I don't get it. But
yeah, the Central should basically be the bottom. Those five should make up 10 of the fucking worst spots in baseball. That's 25 through or 20 through 30. We take up 5 of those.
And the NL Central isn't much better, but they are better. So it's like, it's not.
But they are definitely
still the
better.
laughing stock of the league right now.
Yeah, it's not great. They're playing baseball in London, but other than that, I got nothing else on baseball.
All righty. Well, with that, I guess we can maybe move on to basketball. Again, we had the NBA draft happen here recently.
Oh, yes.
How do you feel that went?
I mean, other than the first guy who everybody knew was going to get fucking drafted, and I don't know how to pronounce this young man's name.
Wembanyama, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah, Victor. I'm fucking just calling him Victor. Everybody knew Victor was going 1. He's been like the talk of basketball for the last couple of years. Giannis knows this kid. He's been saying, just wait till he gets here. Wait till he gets here. Wait till he gets here. And if you watch any of his overseas highlights, he's a fucking unicorn. He's going to be really good, assuming that he stays healthy, because he is a big dude, like 7'3", and I think he weighs like 190 pounds. So that's always a concern with those dudes. But
yes,
everything else,
220 is what he's listed on ESPN.
Okay, well, I mean, 220 is good, but he's 7'5".
He weighs less than me. So
and he is
I'm
almost
6'1" on a good day.
He's almost 2 feet taller than me, and I outweigh him by 30 pounds.
Yeah. So he's thin.
He's slight of frame.
Yes. Now he's an athlete, and that helps a little bit, but you could still fold him in half pretty easily, you know.
Yeah. But listen, this guy can do like he can shoot the 3, he rebounds, he's a good rim protector. I mean, I believe once as he gets a little older, little more meat on his bones, he might be able to hold up against other centers, but he's going to struggle against a guy who can take him into the post and work against him in the post right now. I think he's going to be a little slight. But this kid's going to be a fucking unicorn. If Giannis says this kid's the next coming, I believe it.
Now, I think we talked about this before, but I don't remember in recent memory like basketball players getting popped for PEDs.
No, I can't remember last time.
Can we get this guy on some Winstrol? Can we get some gear in this dude? Just for a couple of years, just to get him a little bit bulked up.
Yeah. God, if you could put a good 20 pounds of fucking raw, just geared up muscle on this guy, Oh, goose. Dude, he'd be fucking unstoppable.
Absolutely.
But
I don't know that basketball tested because I never see that shit. And it's not like basketball athletes don't need, the help that gear could provide.
Correct.
So.
And God, could you imagine being that tall? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it would be scary. Like, just being that naturally, like, talented. I've said it a billion times. The NBA has the best athletes in the world because you can't teach height. You can't train height, and they're still fast and strong as fuck. If you put, oh, dude, juice in the association would be insane. LeBron may literally leap out of a building.
I'm not convinced that LeBron isn't on T already.
Yeah.
At his age, it's only good for his health.
That's true.
So,
that's
who knows?
Very, very true. But other than that, pick number 1, everybody knew it was coming. Fuck. Sorry, there we go. Now I feel like I'm talking a little bit better. Yeah, other than number 1, I didn't really care. There's not a ton of dudes in this draft that were super exciting other than the number 1 pick. So I got no NBA.
That's for my Timberwolves. We got people that I don't really know. Other than I know Jalen Clark we got in the second round, who was, defensive player of the year and stuff like that before he tore his ACL. And so he was listed as a high top 5, top 10 first round pick before hurting himself. Hopefully he's able to come back from that injury.
I mean, the Cavs only picked one guy in this draft at like 41.
49, Amani Bates.
Amani, that's it. Yeah. So I was not super invested in the draft this year.
Now, what's the crazy stat there where I believe that the Suns don't have another pick until like 2032 or something like that?
2030. The Suns do not have a fucking draft pick that they control. Now, they have them, but they don't control them, depending on how seeding falls, until 2030. So they do not own the rights to their own picks until 2030. For Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal to join that squad and to jettison Chris Paul off of that team, which is, crazy. I thought Chris Paul was going to retire there. But Chris Paul does not stick in Washington. He's not staying with the Wizards. They're sending him back out to fucking Golden State. That is going to be interesting, the role that Chris Paul plays on that Golden State Warriors squad. Is he just going to run the second team point? How many sets would we see with Chris Paul and Steph Curry on the floor? He's not going to be playing much deep defense when those two are on the court together.
No, not at all. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We have the Knicks declining Rose's option for 23, 24. We just have some of the initial free agency style moves that are going to be happening, and then the draft. But the NBA Finals just ended. We got a little bit of time before we really got to worry about basketball.
Yeah. So I'm good on basketball. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL. We don't have much here on the NFL. So cool piece of information for Bills fans. You guys are going to have a lot of stability for quite some time. Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott have been re-signed to new deals through, was it 27? So, yes. That's great for the organization. Anytime you get consistency, it's very, very helpful. I am a Browns fan. I know what inconsistency will do to your franchise. But that's great for those guys, and they've done a great job up there. So no reason that they shouldn't get an extension.
Yeah. Now, interesting kind of conversation here, though, is Sean McDermott. I, in general, have liked what he has done with that Bills team. He's a defensive-minded head coach. But there's been some scrutiny put on him recently. I can't remember the pundit, but they said that the whole Stephon Diggs thing and everything is Sean McDermott's failure and that he's the one to be blamed here for the Bills not having as much success as they could have had. Now, he's consistently put together a solid defense with the help of Leslie Frazier, who's taken this year off. So we're really going to see what McDermott can do this year. And then the offense was fantastic until they lost their offensive coordinator to become the head coach of the New York Giants. And maybe there was a step back on the offense last year, maybe a little bit more inconsistency.
Yeah.
I like McDermott as a coach. I like what he has done to transform this Bills team. But I guess it does come down to they've not been as successful in the postseason as you would expect with how much talent they have. They've had one of the most talented rosters, and maybe Sean McDermott is to blame through that. So extending him through 2027, again, I like what he's done, and I think that he's going to continue to maintain your franchise as being solid in a playoff caliber. But are we going to get into a Marty Schottenheimer type situation here when he was head coach for the Chargers and they were consistently, double-digit win team,
Oh
super
yeah,
strong, and then they get in
were
the playoffs
so good, and then they
and
would
just do
shit the
nothing?
bed in literally the first round. They never made it out of the divisional round. Well, I think they made it to an AFC championship like one time.
Yeah, I believe Nate Caden kicked them into a win once or twice in the playoffs or something like that.
Yeah.
But are we going to find this sort of situation with Sean McDermott there? And it'll be interesting. I'll tap the pulse of our Bills fans out here to see what they think, because like I said, I wasn't a fan of McDermott when he was first hired there, but I can't deny what he has done with that team up to this point. But is he reaching the maximum of his potential there? And I'm not sure.
That's tough, man. I like McDermott, but the fact that they have not had a ton of success does raise some red flags. And so this deal for me, I think it makes sense because now these guys they're tied up. They're married. They needed an extension. Now they're both signed the same fucking day. It's going to end the same goddamn day. Head coach tied to the GM. That way they're in lockstep, right? These guys work well together anyway. So that's why this deal gets done. But I think it is probably deserved because they continue to be a fucking excellent football team, but they have underachieved. So maybe 27 is too long. I think they both needed extensions. 27 is a long fucking time. Maybe at 25, but I think it had to get done just so if one of them had one, they're off by a year, and then there's like, well, I'm trying to keep my job. He's trying to keep his job. If things don't go the right way, now they're fucking married up. They're tied together.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, these contracts really don't mean a ton because there isn't a salary cap. This is the owner paying these coaches. They're not getting paid like players. And so if McDermott continues to have struggles going forward, he can be cut. Yeah, he'll still earn some money after being cut, but they can get rid of him if things don't pan out. So this is just kind of keeping him happy and his money off of his mind and letting him focus on coaching. But in reality, if they have to get rid of him, they'll absolutely do that.
And trust me, I think head football coaches in the NFL don't really care when they get fired either. I know Cliff Kingsbury doesn't because he is living in just the greatest life in the world right now on free Arizona Cardinal money.
Yeah.
Because he can't find a job.
I thought he ended up signing somewhere.
I don't know if he did.
I know that he jetted off to Thailand or something like that with his lady, but I thought he got some sort of a job.
Oh, well, while you're looking for that, we got some comments that came in while we were talking there. Kimmel, is it really his fault, or is it because the AFC is so stacked? Oh man, for me, they have underachieved in the playoffs. The AFC is stacked, but there's been a couple of times that they have been the better team on the field and have not won when they should have. And I don't want to hear anything about coin tosses or none of that shit. Like there are times where they could have done more than what they did. What do you think, Evo? Is it because the AFC is so good? I mean, it is good. It's absolutely fucking stacked.
Good, but I feel like they are a glass cannon team where if they're hitting on all cylinders, they are going to crush people. But they do have some weaknesses about them and a lot of them can be self-induced. We talked about this earlier this week about Josh Allen with someone at work. He can be one of, if not the best quarterback in the league, but he is such a loose cannon with things, almost like Brett Favre back in the day, but not to the same extent, where he can put his team into some of those bad negative situations. I feel like you can't take that away from the team, though. You can't say, well, they just need to play a little bit, of a cleaner, more consistent brand of football that is less risky, because that's what makes them so dangerous, is how risky they can be. I still harken back 2 years ago to the Bills Chiefs game, where that playoff game was essentially like our Super Bowl. It was insane.
Yes, it
the
was.
last couple minutes of that game, because both teams just were like, we are going for it. Explosive. And that was like peak of, this is how it can work. But you can't do that in a 18-week season every week and expect it to work every single time. The AFC is stacked, and the Bills are one of the top teams in that stack if everything works out for them well. It's just tough. They do need to get more consistent, but they need to refine that identity to an extent, but don't lose that explosiveness.
A couple other ones. Roberto Gussolini says they need a better running game if they want to be better in the postseason. And I absolutely agree. I do believe that is a big problem for this squad, is they do not run the ball consistently enough. They need to run the ball. Like Josh Allen runs the ball consistently enough, but as a unit, that is not something that they do well. So I don't know if they need to bring in a new run game coordinator or something. Sorry. But they need to figure something out to be able to run the ball in any condition, any environment. You playing fucking Buffalo. You should be able to run the ball, and they just have not done that.
Yeah, it would have been really cool to see them go out and get someone like Bijan this year, just because of how impactful he could be. He could revolutionize the running game without much other investment. The O-line is good. It's not great. It is definitely more of a pass protection O-line than a run blocking O-line, because for the running game, it all starts with those 5 guys up front, the big nasties. If you get a good run blocking unit, you can put a subpar running back there and have them succeed. James Cook isn't necessarily subpar, but we don't know what he is yet. Devin Singletary is okay, but he's not great. But if you have a better run blocking unit in front of you, those guys will look great, especially as a group. We see it in Kansas City, where they have a great meld of pass protection and run game. And they're able to have a solid running game without having an elite guy in the backfield. You're seeing Jerick McKinnons and stuff like that have big time success, but it is happening without a premier back. So yes, invest in the O-line. That'll get you better at the running game. And you have to not be going away from that when times get tough as well. You got to be consistent with that run game. Keep the defense honest.
Yeah. All right. Well, I feel like we got off topic there, but
Cliff Kingsbury.
there we go. Yeah.
He is offensive analyst at USC.
Oh man, he's an analyst, not a coach.
Correct. Offensive analyst at USC.
So he's still getting paid because he does not have a coaching job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Cliff is just absolutely fucking finessing the goddamn Cardinals right now. Because he could easily get another job.
Oh, yeah.
Any mid-major college in the country who wants to get a more high-powered offense would hire Cliff Kingsbury right now as their head coach or offensive coordinator, something, anything. He just doesn't want to. He's going to take that money that he signed the deal for, and he's going to be an analyst.
Yeah, might as well.
Yep. Good for Cliff.
All right. Otherwise, NFL, there again, not a whole lot of stories going on in the NFL. We have Aaron Rodgers attending and speaking at a psychedelic conference where he's advocating for the legalization of that. What do you expect from him?
This is such a weird story. Like,
no movement on DeAndre Hopkins.
No.
The Commanders are expecting to have the vote on the sale of their team happen July 20th. So we should be seeing some stuff here in the next month concerning the Washington Commanders, or whatever their future team name will be, their sale going through. But other than that, we're looking at training camp on the near horizon. Training camps usually start end of July time frame for some teams. So, but until then, we don't have a ton going on. You still have a ton of players out there who are free agents like Dalvin Cook and things like that, they can go and get signed. Again, DeAndre Hopkins. But as of right now, not a whole lot going on in the NFL.
Yeah, there's really not. So, I mean, that's about it for the day then, man. We don't have anything else.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this was the Lineman Lounge. We're going to get the fuck out of here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're not going to cram extra stuff in here that doesn't need to be in the show. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us on this beautiful Sunday. I'm Mike. That's Evo. Anytime you spend with us, we greatly appreciate it. If you like listening to the show, go to any podcast platform and you can hear us there. Go check out the YouTube. You can watch, listen, and just enjoy yourself. Hang out with us on the Facebook. Come interact with us. Twitter, Instagram, all of the socials. We are out there. I thank you guys. I appreciate you. And we're going to get the fuck out of here.